Poor girl. She is clearly devastated and taking it hard, but we saw this same scenario with Muchova and India. Wells only managed 2 games per set. We saw that exact same scoreline tonight. Muchova enters the winner's circle as the inaugural quarterfinalist for Miami 2026 after eliminating the Filipino 31st seed 6-0-6-2. Honestly, Muchova put on a seriously impressive show out there. Indeed, sometimes the most moving and truly life-changing sports stories do not happen while confetti falls during a championship celebration. They do not unfold when a trophy is held high or when a crowd is shouting your name in worship. No one icon's most vital chapters are written during the painful, awkward silence of losing. They are forged in locker rooms, through exhausted exits, and by facing a losing score. Just take a slow breath. Let the tension on the main court finally dissipate. Feel that wave of emotion and let it pass. Today, Eala's supporters united to witness something that is genuinely gut-wrenching for any fan. Yet if you grasp the grind of being a pro, you have never been prouder. We watched our 20-year-old phenom Alex Eala push her body until she had nothing left. The final board shows a 6-0-6-2 win for the veteran 13th seed Karolina Muchova. But if you only see those digits and walk away, you are missing the heart and soul of this match. You are ignoring a lesson in grit and a star being molded. We are not making any apologies for this performance today. This is not about spinning lies, crying about the officials, or dreaming up some conspiracy theories. And we certainly will not take anything away from the incredible woman on the other side of that net. We are here to discuss the cold, hard reality of professional tennis at its highest level. Muchova delivered a total tactical clinic today. She was absolutely relentless from start to finish. Her precision was unreal, showing why she is among the most feared pros on the circuit. She never rattled. Neither the high stakes nor the intense Eala fans could break her ironclad focus. She walked out with a sharp strategy and executed it with the dispassionate efficiency of a surgeon. Let us appreciate Muchova's genius, as it is the only way to understand the mountain Eala faced under peak pressure. Every time an opportunity opened even a tiny bit, Muchova did not blink. She created 5 chances to break serve during the entire contest. Want to know her success rate? 5 for 5, a flawless 100% conversion. When she needed to pull ahead, she pounced early and shut it down. She won 80% of her first serves. Even more crushing for Eala, Muchova also took 80% of the points on her second serves. She killed the return game, playing like a wall by mixing speeds and keeping the ball low and away from Eala's zone. You have to respect that veteran mastery. That is the gold standard for top 15 players. However, this particular breakdown is not ultimately about Muchova's victory. This is about the incredible, stubborn, and completely unbreakable spirit of Alex Eala. Look at Eala's stats: 52% first serves winning, only 36%, and 0 breakpoints. That is not a talent gap. It is fatigue. You are seeing an athlete whose physical fuel tank was bone dry and completely spent. Just think about the gauntlet this incredible young woman has run through this past week. Step into her shoes. Imagine the draining mental and physical marathons she has been sprinting. She was not just out there playing some tennis matches. She has been lugging the dreams and heavy hopes of 5 million people on her 20-year-old frame. Every time Alex steps out there, she is playing for much more than ranking points or a check. She fights for her flag and the millions in Manila waking up at midnight just to see her warm up. She competes with a burning passion that drains her system in ways older pros cannot even imagine. She leaves every bit of herself out there, giving us every bead of sweat and every heartbeat. Today, her legs simply stopped moving. That lightning speed we are used to seeing was gone, sucked dry by the event's massive physical toll. Tennis physics are harsh. When fatigue hits your legs and lactic acid builds, the whole game collapses. Her heavy signature topspin that usually blasts rivals into the stands was falling just a few inches short tonight. Why? Simple. Her exhausted legs just would not give her that necessary lift or the explosive drive she usually brings to her shots. She was completely tapped out physically. Trapped in defense with a body begging for a break, she was struggling against a world-class top 15 opponent who was totally fresh. The gap in physical stamina was massive. Still, this next part is the most critical takeaway from the whole match. This is exactly why you should be on your feet right now, shouting for her with everything you have got louder than ever. Even when the score was a total disaster, trailing 6-0 and 5-0 in that second set with legs that felt like heavy blocks of unmoving cement and lungs burning with every breath in that humid stadium while the entire world watched her struggle on live television. What was her response? She kept going. There was absolutely zero chance she would just throw in the towel. She did not look for a medical timeout to mess with her opponent's flow or pretend she was hurt. She did not drop her gaze or search for an escape route from her coaches. Instead, she found a spark of grit deep inside an empty tank. She scrapped with the fierce heart of a champion just to finally put a number on that scoreboard. She played for her dignity, for the fans in the stands, and for every Eala supporter watching across the entire planet. She managed to pull together enough strength to grab 2 games in that closing set. To a casual fan, those 2 games might not look like much, but if you really understand the sport, those games represent everything. They are the absolute, undeniable evidence of her internal grit and character. It is the ultimate sign of a warrior soul that refuses to be crushed by pressure. Even with her body totally spent, she stayed in the fight, ignoring every natural urge to just quit and leave the court. Folks, this is the real deal, no-nonsense reality check from the Rafa Nadal Academy. And honestly, it is the most beneficial thing that could have occurred for her throughout this 2026 season. Down in Mallorca, where the world's toughest pros train, a rough 6-0-6-2 loss is not viewed as some kind of tragedy. Nobody is crying or feeling hopeless. They see it as the most useful, high-level intelligence a player can gather. It is the essential raw fuel required to build a truly legendary career. Do you think Rafael Nadal reached 22 majors and became the clay court legend by dominating every match at 20? No way. He faced some truly painful, very public losses along the way. He had days where he looked totally outmatched, but his secret was how he took that frustration and turned it into progress. He learned to embrace the struggle and critique his own flaws with total honest clarity. He figured out the exact physical threshold needed to survive the brutal 10-month grind of the Pro Tour. Karolina Muchova did not just win today. She handed Alexandra Eala a masterclass and a roadmap. She highlighted the exact level of cardio and the variety and strategy that is absolutely required. It showed the level of physical grit needed to consistently make deep runs in the second week of a Grand Slam. She felt what it is like to play someone who refuses to give away a single point when things get intense. Alexandra Eala will take this experience, tuck it away, and use that fire to fuel a massive, earth-shaking comeback. She is heading straight back to those practice courts. She will regroup with her team and dive back into the grind. She will hit the weights and push her cardio until it hurts all over again. She is going to dial in that second serve and perfect her backhand slice. She will sharpen her footwork and grind until she can compete for 6 hours without even breaking a sweat. This hype train has not slowed down one bit. Ignore the doubters. The movement is still very much alive. It is just taking a pit stop to get stronger, reload, and get ready for the next big battle. The European clay season is just around the corner, and those red courts are waiting for her. When she steps onto the dirt she was born to play on, she will not be the same person we saw today. She will be tougher, smarter, and way more fit. She will use the painful lessons from this afternoon as her greatest source of power. For all the Eala fans in the Philippines, the States, and Europe, this is your time. This is where a legacy truly starts. It is incredibly simple to jump on the bandwagon when things are going great. Being loud and celebrating trophies when the glitter is falling is easy. But real deep-rooted loyalty to an athlete is proven on days that look exactly like this one. It is earned in the aftermath of a tough loss. Now is when we need to show up. We have to be the support system that carries her through exhaustion. We need to show her that this global movement believes in her future just as much as we ever did. We do not bail on our star just because the score looked bad. We lean into our faith in her. Think about the massive effort she puts in every single time she steps out there. Now, go flood the comments. Prove to the world that the Eala Army is the most class-act, dedicated, and fiercely supportive group of fans in all of professional sports. Share your most inspiring messages of support. Give us your fair, balanced take on the growth she gains from battling a strategic master like Karolina Muchova. Make sure she hears how proud you are of that fighting spirit, particularly that refusal to give in while trailing 5-0 during the second set. We all notice those tired legs and that sheer exhaustion, and we appreciate every single drop of sweat she left on that stadium court this afternoon. Reaching the top is rarely a simple, direct journey. It is a jagged, difficult climb filled with moments of pain, fatigue, and some really harsh realities. Yet each move forward, even those shaky ones, pulls you toward that goal. Alexandra Eala is charging right for the title, and we will be backing her through every grueling step of this long race. Her outlook remains incredibly glowing and positive. Her upside is totally uncapped, and trust me, the greatest moments are still ahead. Let's roll.